I'd like you to think about supply lines and logistics of how you get the things that you need to live every day. That's what this podcast is really about because you might be missing something that's crucial here. Now, and it could affect your life. It could get you killed, actually, which I'll explain in a second. You're listening to Mike Adams here, the Health Ranger. I run healthrangerstore.com, and because of this, I am acutely aware of supply lines and logistics because we move, tens of thousands of pounds of raw materials and we manufacture our own products, superfoods, supplements, and so on. And we're shipping them out the door every day. Well, getting those supplies is becoming increasingly difficult. Part of the reason is because, of course, we do lab testing. And so a lot of supplies don't pass our heavy metals test. And we do glyphosate testing too. So we reject a lot of supplies. But the other thing is that things are actually just breaking down around the world. Transportation companies, even FedEx, UPS, USPS, the Postal Service, getting products into the United States, if they're from Europe or Canada or South America, is becoming harder. And getting products delivered to our warehouse is becoming more difficult. And then getting them shipped out sometimes has more problems than it used to because of UPS and FedEx problems. Logistics, it's all breaking down across America. You may have noticed more products out of stock at the grocery store. But you still believe probably that that's just a short-term glitch. You still think that that's going to be solved and you'll have all the products that you need. You think, at least most people believe, that you'll be able to go to the store and buy water or go to the pharmacy and get your prescription drugs. Hopefully you're not on any prescription drugs, but a lot of people are. Most people believe that all they have to do is walk down to the corner store or the gas station and they can get gas and put it in their vehicle. No problem. Because they're used to this. It's like clockwork. Everything's been delivered. And it's this mindset that makes people move away from ideas of preparedness or being a survivalist, a doomsday prepper, as they say. The opposite of prepping is believing that everything you need will always be right down the street. Preppers are people who, in my view, rightfully believe that there will be increasing disruptions and supply lines will go down. We'll have outages that keep getting worse as society continues to break down. Now, many people talk about collapse as something that happens all of a sudden, and that can happen. There can be one catastrophic event, such as a solar flare, or an EMP weapon, or a volcano goes off, or Yellowstone goes off. There can be one catastrophic event that causes total disruptions and collapse. But what's more likely to happen is a series of events that escalate to the point of desperation. This is like what we've seen in Venezuela. A decade ago, Venezuela was a first world country. No problems getting supplies. You could buy food, you could buy gasoline, you could get water, you had electricity, everything. And now here we are where 80% of the country is plunged into darkness, no power, no water, no food, mass starvation, now on the verge of mass cannibalism. They're going to start eating each other, the ones that haven't fled. The cities have become death traps, and you might be wondering, well, how did this happen? It did not happen overnight. It happened slowly over time. It took months and years for that to finally kick in. And some say it took cyber attacks from the U.S. Army. The U.S. Pentagon is being blamed for causing the power grid to go down in Venezuela. I don't know if that's true or not. Might be. But even if it is, guess what? China can do the same thing to us. China can hack into our power grid. And they've done so before. And they could take us offline. So even if you blame the U.S. for what's happening in Venezuela, that shouldn't stop you from thinking that you need to be prepared in America, because it can happen to you too. Or there could be an engineered collapse event by the U.S. deep state itself. The U.S. might attack itself. You don't know. I mean, these globalists are insane. They're willing to kill people to get what they want. And you know that they want depopulation because they openly talk about it. So at some point, they might just turn their weapons against you and me and just decide in their minds they don't want any more people, except, of course, themselves and whatever robots they've invented by that time, to serve them. but but look, supply lines can get you killed when they go down. Because, of course, without electricity, you have no fuel in your city. You have no ability to engage in transactions at your grocery store. Do you think the average cashier at a grocery store now they can't even open the cash drawer without electricity working. They have to log in and punch in a login code and a password code, and they have to do a barcode scan. You think they can run that grocery store without electricity, even if they had foods that wouldn't spoil? No, they can't. Doesn't even operate anymore. And by the way, the cashiers that work at grocery stores today's youth, they can't even calculate change anyway. They don't even know how to do math when it comes to money. They just grab the cash that the computer, the point of sale system tells them to grab. They don't do math anymore. It's insane. So look, if you're not stockpiling the basics, if you don't have a plan of what to do after the power grid goes down, you're just begging to be killed in the same way that the people of Venezuela are dying right now. You're just begging for it. If you don't have a water filter and a backup water supply that you can physically go get water, then you're just begging to die. Seriously, if you don't have a firearm and a means of self-defense and some ammo for it and some training, you're just begging to be killed in some kind of scenario that unfolds here. The cities are death traps. And you look at cities like Los Angeles. I don't know how many million people live in Los Angeles, but let's just, for argument's sake, let's just call it 10 million. Okay, I know it's more than that in the surrounding area and everything. Let's just call it 10 million. 10 million people all depend on power and water that is all imported into the city because cities are artificial constructs. So the fuel has to come in, the food has to come in, the electricity has to come in, and the water is pumped over a mountain, using a lot of electricity, by the way, to provide water to the people of Los Angeles. You know how easy it would be for that water supply to go down? You know how easy it would be for the power grid to go down and turn Los Angeles into like a zombie apocalypse, man. Just no water, no food. You dial 911, forget it. No electricity, no police response, just rampant gang violence, gangs taking over everything. If you're caught in LA when that day comes, it's not going to be pretty. And that's the thing. You could survive LA even in an apartment or something if you don't go outside and you have your own supplies. Going outside, moving around on the streets, that gets you killed. Driving around in a vehicle gets you killed. You stay where you are. What do they say? Shelter in place or bugging in. You bug in a place like Los Angeles because you can't get out on foot. What are you going to do? Walk through the freaking desert with what? With your backpack and a pair of tennis shoes and 10 rounds of ammo? No, you're not going to get far. You're not going to make that. You need to either get out of LA before all this goes down, or you need to bug in. And bugging in means you become your own supply line. You have to provide your supplies for everything. Bugging in. So I want you to keep all this in mind. This is very, very important to remember. I've got a website called survival.news that will help you with this. Articles posted there almost every day. Go to survival.news, check it out, and read my website, newstarget.com. This is Mike Adams here, the Health Ranger, wishing you the best. Thank you for listening. If you want to make it through these trying times, you're going to need full cognitive function. You're going to need your mental faculties. And there's no better way to achieve that than to turn to good nutrition, brain-supporting nutrition. That's what we offer at the Health Ranger store. We do more testing than any retailer in the world to make sure that you have the cleanest food in the world, because I believe that that's how we change the world. We change the world through clean food. We help people live better, think better, and we get better results in the world. It all starts with food and nutrition. Check it out. We have over 700 products now at healthrangerstore.com. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.